hit that like, share, and subscribe. We started a new X page, so you can follow us at Exec Perspective on X. So go there and give us a like and a follow, so we can start building that up and we can get some information out on that. We're going to move forward now to what's become a very popular segment. It's called Ask an Executive, where you get to ask Rob and myself questions in the chat. They don't have to be on today's topic. They can be on anything police related, and we'll try to answer them from our perspective. Over 65 years of law enforcement experience, over 40 years of executive experience. So if anybody has any questions, jump in. Also, we now have, you can DM us at Exec Perspective on X with any topics or questions, topic suggestions or questions that you might have when we're not on the podcast, or you could email them to the executiveperspective@gmail.com. So you can DM us again, Exec Perspective on X, or the executiveperspective@gmail.com. We'll try to answer you back. We will keep your identity confidential. We know that active members of the service cannot comment openly with their names without the fear of retribution. We understand that some people have those fears, and that's fine. We will keep you confidential. This is a way that you can contact us confidentially if you'd like to engage with us, if you'd like to have a question, maybe a topic conversation, or if you'd like to give us some information that you might want to hear us talk about, like I said, future topics, but also things that are going on within the NYPD that we may be able to speak about because we have a voice that we can speak as retired members that active members aren't always able to do. QC Beast. Yes. Were you in the 7-0 when Lieutenant Narvaez was killed? Yes. Freddie Narvaez was my platoon commander, October 18th, 1996. One of the worst days of my life. I was working the 4 to 12. At the time, I was the arrest processing officer. I took that position for 4 months while I was studying for sergeant. I did respond out to the scene, to the 1013 that was put over, but I was not part of the initial responding members of the 7-0 precinct who neutralized Freddie's killer. So yes, I was.
I know Terry Munane answered the question, but L. Mikilos, I hope I'm saying that right, asked about shotguns and rifles in the precincts, and no, they don't. Terry's spot on right there. No, they don't. So.
And Knuckles, if that's you, if you're listening, we just got your follow. Thank you.
And then I don't know. There was another. Oh, so somebody asked earlier. I forget who, but asked what's a bear and a bear cat. I'm sorry, I didn't explain that more appropriately. Right. So those are armored vehicles. ESU used to have 2 Korean war tanks. They're probably still at Floyd Bennett Field, but they've pretty much been decommissioned. I think one of them went up to Pelham Bay and helped the officer that was up there that was pinned down under gunfire. But the Bear is a armored vehicle. It's made by that's a larger armored vehicle. The Bearcat is a smaller armored vehicle. They both have what's known as level 4 ballistic protection, and they can stop rifle rounds. If you Google it, that's the Bearcat. Yeah, that's the smaller one. There was a video of a larger one, and that's the Bear. But you can use them for deployment of teams, and they're also a point of cover because they provide the highest level ballistic protection. So if you Google it, you can see that they've been shot at numerous times, not particularly in New York City, but in some of the other law enforcement throughout the country have used it, where they've pulled up and people with like AK-47s have come out of their trailer and just started shooting rounds at it. And you can literally, the glass in the window, everything stops. It stops all that shooting. So they're a necessary vehicle, and they're a great vehicle. So. Any other
Anybody?
questions?
Yeah, feel free to throw out any questions you have out there. We'll give you a minute or two. I know it's late. We're 2:20 into it, but we want to give the opportunity to ask the questions because it's been like I said, we've gotten a lot of positive feedback from this segment, and so we'll give you another minute or so. And for future, like, don't DM us and send us emails now. We're not going to be able to answer them during the show. But if anybody else is on here in the chat, thank you, Simply E, for following. Appreciate that. Those are for questions that you have when the show's not on. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat right now, and we'll be happy to answer. I think we answered the questions during the show today.
Yeah. I think, like you said, though, if somebody, we close down or whatever, and you think of something later on, or even if you see something on John and Eric's or Sal's show or 10-4 Tavern, and something pops up, and you say, hey, you know what, that might be a good question I could ask, Ron and Rob. Absolutely, throw it in an email and send it to us, and then we'll read it out the next time we do this particular segment. So.
Marlon is asking, are they still plating the RMPs? I heard someone say on one of the other shows, I think it was John and Eric's, about that they saw RMPs that didn't have. And when he's told what Marlon is saying, and Marlon is Marlon Bethel, he's a member of the Finest Unfiltered. He's on the Friday Roundtable on the Finest Unfiltered at 0805, as well as a special guest during other episodes. He also does a ton of that was you. Okay. A ton of other things for us behind the scenes technically. So we really appreciate everything you do for the
Marlon's the brains of the organization.
Brains of the operation.
We absolutely 100%.
Don't tell John that, though. Don't tell John that. You'll get Angry John going. But yeah,
with all John's video, he's eye candy.
To be perfectly honest with you, since you said that, Marlon, and I heard that, every RMP that I've drove past, I've looked, and every single one has had the plate both marked and unmarked. So I haven't seen any RMPs that don't have the armor plating on the doors and the glass, have ballistic glass on the inside, which is something that's gone on the RMPs, which is the Radio Motor Patrol cars, the police cars, since the assassination of Ramos and Lou. That's one of the things that they did almost immediately, was starting to fortify the patrol vehicles. So, I did hear you say that. You're saying that you noticed some of the newer SUVs. I'm going to keep my eye out. And if I run into somebody that might know, I'll ask. I know in the transfers there's a new CO of Fleet Services, but I don't know him.
Yeah, no, I think Marlon just gave us some homework, so we could definitely look that up for you, Marlon. I still have a few anonymous contacts I can speak to. So, but
some people still talking to you.
Yeah, somewhat. I have to beg them
unless you need something.
Yeah, exactly. As long as it's not for somebody put somebody into some location, no nepotism or cronyism. So, hey, I see that El Mikolos asked a question about. She's they're from West Harlem, 30th Precinct. How is the 30th viewed within the NYPD? I worked Manhattan North, and unfortunately, I remember the 30th Precinct as the Dirty 30 when they walked out a bunch of cops that were arrested for kicking in doors, basically like cowboys and stuff, and stealing money. But I know that was always a busy command, the 3-0. Before they made the 3-3, right? You had just the 3-4. The 3-2 was a busy house. The 3-4 was really busy until they split it up into the 3-3 and the 3-4. And the 30th Precinct, yeah, that was always a busy house. I had a high respect for those guys, and I think guys and gals up there, and I think they do a good job. So the 3-0 is a good precinct. Was it RDV asking, if given the opportunity, what specific changes would you make to revamp the NYPD promotion process?
We've
Uh,
talked about this at length.
yeah, that's a tough question because there's so much, there's so many dynamics to it, right? I mean, if you listen, and anybody that didn't watch it this morning, they should go back and watch John and Eric when they interview Corey Pegues, a retired deputy inspector, had what we would consider like a little bit of a checkered past. I mean, he kind of go through some of the things that he had issues with, but he specifically said he wanted to get a lieutenant promoted, and he spoke to Mike Tassetta, which used to drive Gianelli, and Gianelli said,
I don't know that he named Mike specifically though.
I just did. Mike's a good guy. I knew him. I knew him a lot. So he I guess Gianelli told Mike. Mike called, and the next promotion, that lieutenant got called. So that was non-existent grid, right? That was like just a phone call. And I've been where I said this before on the podcast, where it's been Whedon would look at somebody would get promoted at a K9, they get like second grade, and Whedon would be like, "Did you know that guy was going to get promoted second grade?" I said, "No." He goes, "I didn't either." I said, "How did he get promoted?" "I don't even know. We didn't even have him on our grid or anything."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there needs to be a systematic process. I think I'm the guy that always says you need a rank of corporal and you need a rank of police special assignment, because I think that you can, at a certain amount of time, a person can get promoted or get that bump, right? If so, in other words, a guy does, and I always say this: God bless the people that stay on patrol for their whole career. They are the real backbones, because not only do they stay on patrol, but then they teach the new people that come on the right way to do the job and how to survive out on patrol. So I always say, after a certain amount of years, they should either be promoted to police officer special assignment, or they should be given the rank of corporal, and then detectives have their regular route. That's not, and get rid of that. I don't know, the specialist shield I like, because of it gives an ESU and it gives certain perspectives, but it's given out to drivers and to other things, and that's where the whole system kind of falls. So that whole system needs to be revamped. Absolutely. That's that maybe we could have Artie on, and we can do a whole segment of it.
Yeah. Oh, Popeye wants me to stop interrupting you with audible video. Marlon knows not to do that. All right.
Shit.
In all for transparency, I took over the production of the show, so I'm still working out some kinks. So when I was trying to bring up the Bearcat, the audio popped into the show when I was trying to just find the picture of the Bearcat in that other video. So I apologize for the audio interruption.
Christopher Mercado says I think he agrees with us. As a former OMAP lieutenant special assignment, we always felt that the skewing the police officer special assignment was a mistake, and I think that was part of the union, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
The union complained about that because they didn't felt it was rare, it wasn't fair, and that everybody should get a special assignment and a blanket thing, and it just kind of And I tell you what, Chris, the other problem I have with it, and it's a sad thing, is that I say that, and I've said it to you before, Ron, when police officers pass away, they get promoted, killed in a line of duty, they get promoted to detective first grade, and rightfully so. But when you look at that board, when you come into One Police Plaza and you see that board of everybody that's been killed in a line of duty and it's given the ultimate sacrifice, all you see now is detective, when in fact they were police officers that did that. There's police officers that gave their lives. And I understand the recognition for the money. I understand that, but I still feel that, that diminishes what every other poor cop's out there doing,
So
well, who gave
this is your last question? This is your last question, El Mikado. What vehicles do NYPD executives usually drive or get assigned to? They vary. They vary from Ford Fusions to Ford Escalades. So it depends on your position. It depends on your assignment. It depends on your rank, and it depends on who you know.
Yeah, the 3-star Chiefs get the big Tahoes, right? And then I was actually lucky to get a Durango, but because we carry our heavy vests and equipment in there. So, but yeah, for the most part, it's the Fords, the Escorts, and the Explorers, right? So
yeah, I had an Edge.
Did you? Yeah.
Quite a few years. It was a nice size Edge. Thanks. Shout out Michael Sane. Patrol rifles, most departments do them. Why not the NYPD? We discussed that a little bit earlier. They don't do it. I don't know why. In the past, it's been done. It's a suggestion that they should maybe look at, especially when you're looking at increased instances that we discussed today. So thank you.
think
$199 for the podcast. Appreciate you.
What do you get with that? $199, Ron.
You started this, pal.
There you go, licorice. There you go. Diet Coke and licorice.
That's me.
There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
you, Michael.
Came up with that licorice last week, so when I bought some for the show, my prop. But thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
I also think from Mike there that the NYPD doesn't trust their cops. That's the real thing. They need to have a little bit more trust and a little bit more faith in the police officers that are out there.
So Joe Mango's asking, Inspector, if you took over production, where is Jack Stern? Jack Stern is still a member of the Finest Unfiltered. He produces the Sal Greco Show and has a segment at the end of the Sal Greco Show called The Producer's Take, where he comes on air and discusses part of the topic, and also they usually talk about sports a lot and some politics. But just for those who don't know, Jack's not a paid employee of the Finest Unfiltered. He's one of the Finest Unfiltered. His family volunteered his time to produce our show. We appreciate him for all he did. But again, took his time out to produce the show on Wednesday nights for us. And taught me and showed me some of the ways to do it. And, we just, gave him a break where he's, doing other things and concentrating right now with Sal Greco on the Sal Greco Show. But thanks for asking about Jack. Jack is a member of the Finest Unfiltered family. Always will be.
Yep.
Anything else we want to keep going?
No, I agree with Anthony DiMaggio, right? He says, let it be known that I was not be assigned as a detective. I was killed in the line of duty. I'm a cop, a first responder, and that's how I wish I'd be remembered. P.O. DiMaggio is just fine. And I agree. We're all cops, right? I just don't like when they do that. I think I understand why they do it totally, and I agree with it. I just think it diminishes the rank of police officer, and I don't think that's fair. That's all.
You've just watched a clip from our live episode. Click the description to watch the full episode. Like, share, and subscribe for more videos just like this.